Technology has advanced rapidly over the last century as a result of people in positions of power supporting ongoing global wars, which now include military robots. Global ecology has crumbled as a result of industrial overdevelopment, natural disasters, and never-ending wars, and diseases and famine now engulf the world, polluting the air with toxins. This has resulted in babies being born with severe illnesses, such as the daughter of elite pilot Tyler, who died from a pollution-related illness while still a child. To try to restore the environment, governments around the world have constructed domes known as skynets, which can purify toxic air. However, during the construction process, a massive meteorite crashed into District B16, bringing with it a massive alien plant known as Pandora. This plant thrives in water and causes havoc throughout the city in search of it, but it can also purify the entire atmosphere. ASU, Hong Kong's military force, has set up a temporary command center on B16. Tyler works there alongside his brother-in-arms, Commander Johnson, and junior officer Connor, who is dating communications officer Lucy. One day, Johnson welcomes Colonel Tam to the base, who has been dispatched by the Genetics Alteration Project. She brings with her a whole army of robots, which makes Johnson nervous because he believes they are unreliable. Johnson, Tam, and their team meet with Sean Lee, the commander-in-chief of District B16 and one of the forces behind Project Skynet. Tam's team has developed a gene bullet that will stop Pandora's growth without destroying it, allowing them to stop the havoc while keeping the air purifier. However, two storms are on their way that could cause Pandora to grow into the nearest town, so they must act quickly before it rains. Sean Lee dislikes the idea of losing his valuable domes, but the team assures him that it is for the betterment of humanity. A few pilots will assist the robots carrying out the mission, but if they fail to complete their task before the second storm begins, Tam has a backup plan in place: send Orca bombers. This will destroy the plant, but also result in 160,000 casualties, which sounds terrible but is preferable to losing the millions that Pandora would kill if it grew again. Johnson is upset that there are no evacuation plans for these casualties, but he has no choice but to obey, so he and Tam go to explain the plan to the pilots. They must launch contrast agent bombs into Pandora during the first rainstorm to allow the base scanners to locate the central pistol, after which they will dispatch robots to the appropriate location to apply the gene bullet. Tyler dislikes Tam's lack of information on waiting times and his refusal to comment on the possibility that the plant will react negatively to the bullets, resulting in the death of his men. Tam dislikes Tyler's attitude, but Johnson assures her that he is the best man for the job. Johnson also reminds Tam that he opposes Plan B and will allow his soldiers to carry it out until the end. Meanwhile, in the B-16 temporary settlement area, former pilot Skunk notices the aircraft leaving base and recalls working with Tyler and Johnson, but there's nothing he can't do for his friends now. Tyler is paired with Connor and Lincoln for the mission, and all of the aircraft arrive just in time for the first storm. They successfully inject the contrast agent, but now they must fly in circles around Pandora until the base can complete the scan, which involves flying through the plant's lashing vines. Bullets are insufficient to stop it, and one by one the aircraft are destroyed or crash to the ground. Tyler's aircraft is only hit on the fuel tank, giving Tyler enough time to execute a quick maneuver that saves them from crashing and eventually locates Pandora's pistol beneath a building. Tam immediately sends an Orca aircraft with the robots to begin the next stage of the plan, but while hiding in his office, Sean Lee remotely controls the robots and sabotages the mission, causing the Orca to crash. He also activates a device that disables all communication in the area, preventing Tyler's team from contacting the base. Unable to seek assistance, the aircraft crashes in an improvised landing, injuring Lincoln, who is dragged to the nearest hospital by Tyler and Connor. Tam is ready to start Plan B at the base, but Johnson reminds her that the second storm hasn't arrived yet and offers to take the gene bullet to the pistol by truck. Tam accepts, but only gives him 3 hours before unleashing Plan B. Tam then consults Lucy, who explains that the weather officer discovered a current of over 70,000 volts when Orca went off the radar, which was most likely caused by the thunderstorm. Tam is skeptical that a thunderstorm could destroy so many ships in such a short period of time and orders Lucy to investigate the incident. Moments later, Johnson arrives in the settlement area to look for Skunk and invites him to join him on the mission. Skunk refuses to risk his life for free, so Johnson promises him that when this is all over, he can keep the truck and gain access to a large number of food stamps as payment. Skunk is now officially the driver. Returning to the soldiers, Tyler delegated the task of covering Lincoln's wound to Connor while he searches for medical supplies. There's something hidden in the shadows that they can't see, but the noises concern Connor, so Lincoln convinces him to go check because he's fine. Meanwhile, Tyler discovers an old bunny that reminds him of his daughter, unaware that its owner, a girl named Pansy, is still hiding in the hospital. Tyler hears some noises and tries to communicate with Connor. His message appears on Johnson's truck as well, sending the signal they need to find them. Tyler is suddenly attacked by the source of the noises, a mantis-like creature that Pandora hatched without their knowledge. Fortunately, he reacts quickly and, after some struggle to get it off him, shoots the monster until it dies. Connor isn't as lucky. When he returns to check on Lincoln, he discovers another of these creatures devouring his friend, and he flees when the alien pursues him again. Nothing Connor throws at the beast will stop it, and he ends up hiding inside the morgue refrigeration unit. The alien cannot break it, so it seeks out its siblings to form a team. After telling Lucy the location, Johnson puts on a special suit and instructs Skunk to wait while he enters the hospital to look for their friends. The monsters are now approaching Pansy, who is attempting to hide among the beds. And when they find her, Tyler appears and quickly shoots the beasts, saving her. After returning Pansy's bunny, Tyler drags her through the corridors as more aliens pursue them, but they are able to escape thanks to Johnson appearing in his suit to kill the remaining beasts. While Johnson sends news of these creatures to the base and Sean Lee intercepts it, Tyler seeks out Connor, who informs him of the bad news about Lincoln. Meanwhile, being in the truck reminds Skunk of the day he left the force. Tyler had chastised him for fleeing during a dangerous mission and leaving many men to die, and Skunk explained that he did so because he knew they had been sent to die on purpose because Skynet didn't care about their safety. According to Tyler, if he wasn't willing to die, he couldn't be a soldier, and Skunk was forced to leave after 30 years of brotherhood. His reminiscing is interrupted by a message from Johnson, who is fleeing with the others from the aliens, who won't stop coming. Johnson sends Skunk a meeting location, and Skunk rushes there to use a special weapon on the hospital wall, creating an improvised escape route for his friends to emerge. Once they're safe in the truck, Connor sends Lucy a new scan of the pistol, which she uses to make her boyfriend promise to come back alive. Tam is arguing with Sean Lee because he wants to begin Plan B immediately, but Lucy bringing the most recent scan allows Tam to buy more time until the second storm arrives. Johnson wants to search for the gene bullets in the crashed Orca, but Tyler points out that they don't know if the bullets are even intact, making Skunk hesitant because it could mean risking their lives for nothing. A new argument begins, reminding them of the day Skunk left, but is cut short when Johnson receives orders from Tam. They must retrieve the bullets, otherwise the base will initiate Plan B and they will die. When the truck gets closer to the crash site, Connor's scanner detects a signal from the box containing the gene bullets, indicating that they are fine. They send a drone to find the exact location beneath the debris, and Lucy seizes the opportunity to inform Connor in secret that a military signal had previously blocked their communications, and that he should find the robot head that caused it. Tyler decides to stay in the truck with Pansy to comfort her, after Connor requests that they join Johnson in the search. The girl is terrified because she has lost her family and keeps reminding Tyler when he lost his daughter, prompting him to promise he will never leave. Following a long walk through the destroyed buildings, Johnson and Connor discover the drone marking the location in an area above them. Johnson decides to use his suit injectors to perform the necessary jumps, but they fail and he is left hanging on the precipice. Fortunately, Tyler arrives at the right time in his own suit and saves him, allowing them to continue the search together. They eventually find the bullet inside a car hanging by a thread, so Johnson uses a firefighter hose to carefully lower Tyler inside, and he grabs the bullet just before the car falls into the abyss. Meanwhile, Connor discovers a grenade pin that indicates which robot sabotaged the mission and promptly removes its head. Skunk is listening to the radio when he hears his friend mention him through the communicators, prompting him to finally man up and put on a suit to join them, leaving Pansy alone in the truck. Returning to Johnson and Tyler, they flee when they are discovered by more alien beasts, and the fighting and shooting they do against them causes the buildings around them to collapse. They manage to jump over the falling debris and reach Connor on the ground using their injectors, but a few cars begin to fall at the same time. Johnson pushes Tyler out of the way, leaving them hanging off an edge as another car collides with Connor, trapping him beneath it. Tyler and Johnson rush back to the surface to move the car away from their friend, but are ambushed by another alien. Luckily, Skunk arrives just in time to kill the beast and take the team with him, opening an escape route through the fallen buildings with his special weapon. The group returns to the truck safely, and Connor connects the robot head to his computer to confirm there was foul play. Tyler wants to blame Tam, but Johnson quickly points out that Sean Lee was the one who did not want to lose the dome building business. Connor follows the robot's signals and confirms it was Lee, so Johnson calls him to confront him. But Sean Lee is unconcerned. He's determined to carry out Plan B and destroy Pandora and its air purifier, so he cuts off their communications and sends his robots after them. Tam realizes they've lost contact with the team and declares that if they can't communicate within 30 minutes, Plan B will be activated. Skunk drives as fast as he can toward the location of the pistol, but the first robot eventually finds them and opens fire as it chases them down the highway. The team fires back, but the bullets are insufficient to harm the truck, and two smaller robots soon discover them and jump on top of it. Skunk decides to take a risk and run over the first robot with the truck, causing enough damage to its armor for the others to eventually shoot it down. Tyler then jumps on the roof to kick one of the robots off, but this only causes it to fall into the back door and drop a grenade inside the truck. Skunk instructs Pansy to grab it and throw it out the window while Johnson fights the robot hand-to-hand, which is becoming increasingly difficult as his suit's battery runs low. When a fourth robot appears in front of the truck, Tyler manages to rip off his robot's head before jumping back into the truck to kick the enemy attacking Johnson off the highway bridge. Then Connor finds Skunk's special weapon and shoots the robot out the front window. At that point, the first robot reappears and launches a missile after them. Skunk manages to avoid it, but it still blows up the highway bridge, forcing Skunk to perform a difficult jump that lands them on the opposite side. The robot crosses with them by hanging on the truck and attempting to cause them to fall, so Johnson hands Tyler the gene bullet before jumping on the robot, causing it to fall into the abyss with him. The team grieves for their friend as they make their way to the pistol, unaware that Johnson is still alive. At the base, Tam prepares to launch Plan B, while Sean Lee activates his most powerful robot to pursue the team. Lucy also receives that signal and shows it to Tam as proof that Lee is behind everything. Tyler returns to the team, gives Connor the bullet, and sends Pansy into hiding while he and Skunk continue to fight the massive robot. Skunk focuses on returning the fire, while Tyler jumps on top of the robot to destroy the signal jammer, letting the people at the base know they're safe and giving Tam a reason to confront Sean Lee, who still refuses to cancel Plan B. Meanwhile, Connor hides Pansy in a safe place while activating an explosive that creates a hole in the ground to reach the pistol. Skunk's special weapon is ineffective against the robot, so he warns Connor to flee, only for another small robot to appear and stop him. Tyler jumps in just in time to fight this robot, while Connor flees to hide with Pansy, but things get difficult for him because his suit's battery is also running low. As the large robot begins to destroy the buildings, Tyler remembers his daughter and the promise he made to Pansy, prompting him to go berserk and destroy the small robot with a car door. Skunk decides to take a chance and waits for the large robot to get close enough to hit it in the weak spot with his special weapon, effectively destroying it. At that point, the second storm arrives and Pandora's vines spread throughout the area. The second Orca is about to launch Plan B, but Tam chooses to disobey Lee and cancel it. Tyler is beginning to believe they have lost Pansy in the destruction caused by the robots when Johnson appears with the girl and the bullet he saved from Connor. Johnson then enters Pandora's pistol, which is surrounded by eggs and more of the bug-like aliens. Johnson rushes to shoot Pandora, instantly neutralizing all of the creatures in growth just as the vines approach the settlement area. Pandora has been defeated, and everyone on the base rejoices that they will be able to purify the air soon. Tam prepares to arrest Sean Lee, but as she approaches his office, she hears a gunshot. It turns out Sean Lee preferred to end things rather than live without his beloved Skynet. A week later, society is starting to recover and rebuild, and Tyler accepts a mission to the moon to identify the signal coming from there. All right, that's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. It really helps the channel. Leave a comment with your thoughts and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching and see you next time.